Hello physiotherapists out here, welcome to Academically, and we are right here in front of you talking about how to become a registered physiotherapist in Australia. Well, you know about the pathway, you know about the exams, you may also know about the changes which has come up recently. So I think in the last July, somewhere around July, the website got updated and the clinical exams were turned down. Now you will not have to travel to Melbourne and sit for 3 clinical exams. Rather than that, you have a new assessment which has been added in the track of becoming physiotherapist in Australia, and that is capability assessment. So a lot of questions and a lot of confusions have come up regarding this, that what exactly is this exam? Is it beneficial for us as an international physiotherapist, or is it something tedious which we have to do in additional to the practical exams? Is it something very different about the syllabus, or is it similar or relevant to the written exam preparation what we have done? So today in this video, we'll talk about all these questions which are popping up in your minds, and we are happy to answer your questions further as well if we do not cover in this video. But as of now, let's get started and let's talk about how to become physiotherapists in Australia. We'll talk about the overview, we'll talk about the format, and we'll also talk about the marking rubric. So before moving down to capability assessment, let's first talk about the various steps involved in getting a license for practicing as a physiotherapist in Australia. Number one is your eligibility letter. What is the eligibility letter or the interim certificate? So basically, you need to submit your documents certifying that you are a registered physiotherapist in your home country if you are an internationally trained physiotherapist. The council will check that, and they let you know that, okay, you can get an interim certificate, you are eligible to sit for the written exam. There's a small cultural safety training because the country of Australia is very much concerned about people knowing about their culture and the Aboriginal cultures if you're coming and wanting to practice and reside in their country. After which you get an interim certificate which is valid for 2 years. After getting the interim certificate, you get the license or you get the key to book the written assessment. What is APC or APP written assessment? We've already talked about that. It's a one-day exam with 2 shifts. First shift, morning shift, and the second shift is the evening shift. In the first shift, you have 2 hours having 15 scenario-based questions with 4 sub-questions. In the second hour, again, the similar way. Now comes the capability assessment. What is that? So guys, earlier what used to happen was, once whenever you would pass the written exam, you would have to go for the practical examination. And if you take it from Melbourne, you had to take it from Melbourne. But now things have become easier. You can sit for a remote written exam. Second step is remote capability assessment, which is an online Viva exam about which we are going to talk about in this particular video. And then the third step and the final step is the clinical one-day workshop, which has to be taken from Melbourne. You go for a workshop, you get a hands-on training with the physiotherapists out here, and then in the end, you will be assessed and then you will get a final certificate, after which you will get registered with APRA and you can practice as a licensed, fully registered physiotherapist in Australia. So let's come back to our topic. We will talk about the capability assessment, the new addition to this particular pathway. Guys, what is capability assessment? So if we talk about what is capability assessment, it is one of the key stages of the Australian physiotherapy entry pathway, which is the new pathway. The oral assessments undertaken virtually via candidate portal. It's very, very important. So basically, it's an oral assessment. It's like an interview. There will be one Australian physiotherapist on the other side, and on the one side you will be sitting and you will be having a 1.5 to 2 hour of Viva discussion. What's the syllabus and all that? We will discuss. So through your candidate portal, you have to book an oral assessment, and exactly that is the capability assessment, which is a part of Australian physiotherapy entry pathway. One candidate is assessed by one assessor. What is the significance of this? So it promotes fairness, reflection, and readiness for physiotherapy practice in Australia. So that is the major goal of this. They are not going to assess your theory skills. The one thing which they will assess is your clinical skills. Clinical skills are the major portion which will be assessed in this particular Viva examination. Now next the question comes, is it a remote exam or an in-person exam? Guys, it is very much a remote exam. You can sit at your house, at your home, and you can answer the questions of the Australian practitioner or a proctor through an online video conferencing. So conducted entirely online by candidate portal. The significance for this is that a lot of money and a lot of visa and these and things, and people were having a lot of confusions and people were having a lot of difficulties to travel to Melbourne for the 3 clinical examinations. So to curb this problem of the students or of the physiotherapists, of the internationally trained physiotherapists, they have taken up this measure, which clearly states that Australia is in a need of physiotherapists. There is a huge demand of physiotherapists in Australia because they've got a lot of geriatric population in their country, and they are very much concerned about the physiotherapy rehab of those population or those people. Participate from anywhere with reliable internet, very easy, and it is designed for fairness and accessibility. So that's the only aim and motto for this format. Now let's talk about what is the assessment format. How will you be assessed? So as we talk about the exam format, the total duration is 2 hours. Now this particular 2 hours are divided into 2 parts. Number 1 part is the first 3 short clinical cases. This is not open book. Now there was a huge and a lot of talk going on that this is an open book exam. So what's the significance if you can see the answers online or you can see the research papers or books? So guys, let me make it very clear to you. The part 1 with 3 short cases which will be asked by the examiner to you, that is not an open book exam. Okay, part 1 has to be answered on the basis of your own techniques, your own knowledge. Moving down to part 2, yes, one extended case discussion, partially open book. So basically what happens after your part 1, you get a break, you will get a reading time, which is exactly the open book exam. You will get a reading time of how much minutes, we'll talk about that. After that, the examiner will ask you 1 long case. Alright, so part 1, 3 short cases, a break, reading time, and part 2, 1 long case, for which you will be given a stipulated time. You need to convince the examiner this is the answer, and then only you can take the question. Okay, so this is the assessment format. Moving down to the open book rules. Now, what are the rules for the open book exam? Well, open book is something which is very new into practice, and it has served and it has literally shown that it has a great value. So we'll talk about what is the open book rules. Conducted entirely online via candidate portal. What part 2 preparation? So open book, as I mentioned, is only applicable for part 2. There are textbooks, you can refer to previous notes, you can refer to online research, taking new notes. And guys, very important, no new online research can be relied upon for part 2. Okay? Whatever you have, whatever papers you have, and guys, AI tools are strictly prohibited. You can't take help of ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or any other artificial intelligence tools. You can take the help of your textbook, previous notes, online research, taking new notes. All of them should be at your table when you're sitting for the exam. You are not allowed to get up and move. Even during your breaks, you are not allowed to get up and move, guys. Listen to this carefully. Remember this carefully. Now, what are the regulatory and clinical roles? See, so this is the timestamp division. I will talk about this. So 15 minutes, that is welcome and ID verification. You will confirm access and you will await for the assessor. For the next 30 minutes is the part 1 short cases, wherein 3 short cases will be given up to you. You will have to answer it on the basis of the safety and professional scope. Next 15 minutes, you have a break, but your camera and mic should remain open. That is very important. Next 15 minutes, part 2 reading. Now, this is the actual open book time. It's written extended case preparation, open book. And in the next 45 minutes, part 2 oral assessment, extended case discussion, clinical reasoning, and professional scope. So sum it up, 15 minutes introduction, 30 minutes part 1 with 3 short cases, 15 minutes break, 15 minutes part 2 for reading, and 45 minutes for the oral assessment. Next, moving on to assessment structure overview. So basically, as I mentioned, it's 1-to-1 assessment with an Australian physiotherapy assessor. You'll get 3 short cases, 1 extended case discussion, which covers different physiotherapy settings in clinical areas like geriatric, public health settings, like private clinics, and everything will be covered along with the subjects. Now, what is the marking rubric? Basically, they're going to talk about the safety and professional scope. So how will they mark you? What are the criteria on which you will be marked, guys? On the basis of communication, risk identification and management, on the basis of professional scope, clinical reasoning, and management strategies. So if your answer is excellent, you get a score of 5. If your answer is good, you get a score of 4. Satisfactory for 3, 2 for needs of improvement, and 1 for satisfactory. So these are the professional scopes on which you will be marked up. Your marking will be done like that. So this was all about the capability assessment, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have liked this video, please like, share and subscribe our channel to get recent and more updates. We have tried to cover the maximum number of questions we could for this particular new capability assessment. But in case you have any question or any other query, please do not forget to drop it down. We will be happy to answer your questions. Till then, goodbye. Take care.